Creating your first project and managing it with issue board. Create your first project. In this video, we are going to take a look at creating our first group, creating our first project, committing and pushing the changes in our project. Groups in GitLab are used to organize projects that are related to each other. For instance, suppose that you have a website that is separated in two projects, front-end and back-end. These two projects could be organized in a group called website. Another example are libraries that are shared by many different projects. Each library could be a project inside a group called utils, since they share a common characteristic. Let's create our first group. First, we need to click here in Groups, and then Your Groups. Currently, we have no groups created yet, but we can create our first group clicking here, New Group. The name of our group will be GitLab course. We can have a description to the group here, but I'm not going to fill it. You can put whatever you want. We must define a group avatar and the visibility level of it, private, internal, or public. If we mark our group as public, everybody can see its project, even users without authentication. If we choose internal option, only logged users can see the projects, even if they are not part of the group. With the private option selected, only members of the group can see the projects. So let's mark our group as private. Because we have installed Mattermost with GitLab, GitLab offers the option to create a Mattermost team for this group. We are going to unselect this option. Now we can create our group clicking on this button here, Create Group. GitLab presents a message here informing us that the group was successfully created. Now we are able to create our first project. We must click here in New Project. In this page, it's possible to give a name to the project. We are going to call it First Project. Also, we can select a group to our project. We could choose GitLab course or a personal projects group that every user has in GitLab. In our case, we are going to choose GitLab course. A project description is optional, but we are going to fill it with our first project with GitLab text. The visibility level of a project is similar to what we have seen in groups, but because our group is private, we can choose internal or public options. If our group was internal, we could choose between private and internal, and if our group was public, we could choose any of the three options. If we mark that we want to initialize our repository with a README, GitLab will automatically create the first file of the project. The name of the file will be readme.md, an extension that means Markdown, a markup language used to format texts. Let's check it and click on the Create Project to get our first project created. GitLab informs us that the project has been created with success. We can see in this page the name of the project, its description, and the README file. GitLab follows the convention to show in the page of the project the content of the README file, if it is present. Here we can see that the content of README file is the name of the project and the description we have entered in the repository creation. In the Git world, To clone a repository project means that we are going to create a copy of the repository in our computer. This way, we can work in the project files and make changes in them. After the work is done, we can submit the changes to the original repository. The process of sending the changes to the original project repository is called push. Let's see in GitLab how we can clone our repository, make changes to it, and push them to the original repository. To clone a project, we must click in the clone button and then copy the SSH URL using this button here. How we have defined our SSH key, we can use the SSH to clone our repository. Now, in the terminal, we are going to enter in the Git directory and execute the command git clone, followed by the URL we copied from GitLab. So let's enter the Git directory, and then execute git clone followed by the URL. Let's respond with yes. Now the project is in our computer. When we answered the question with yes, mygitlab.ddns.net was added to our known hosts. As we can see, the content is the same that we have saw in the interface of GitLab. Now let's edit the file with Nano Editor. We are going to add a new line here. Let's save the file. And use git status command to show the status of this project. As we can see, the README file has been modified. Now let's commit our update and see the status again. Now our repository is ahead of master by one commit. Let's use git push command in order to publish our changes in the GitLab repository. The changes that we have made in our local repository have been submitted to GitLab's repository. Let's check it with the git status command. Our repository is up to date with origin master repository of GitLab. Let's check it in GitLab's interface. Let's refresh this page and see the changes in our file. As we can see here, the last commit was the commit that we have done in our local repository. Also, the content of the README file has been changed, adding the new line we have added before. Now that we learned how to work with our project, let's see how to add people to our group in order to collaborate with them.